welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing something slightly different. I'm going to share with you an experience I had the other day. I went to the Ideal Home show in London and had a really lovely day, and I'll share that as well. But a part of that was there was a lady, a psychic lady, offering readings, and I've never had it done before. I've been to a spiritual church before, and I wasn't really very impressed by that, but I've never had an individual one-to-one reading before. I want to premise this by saying that I'm a real skeptic. I don't trust many people when they say they can do things. I think I do believe that there are people that can do psychic things and have psychic abilities, but I'm not wholly trusting that everyone who says they can. So I want to just say I am a skeptic, but yeah, I had quite I feel it was an extraordinary experience. So I went in there and she asked me what sort of reading I would like, and I didn't really want to part with much money because if it was all going to be a load of bunkum, I didn't want to. So I went just for the basic palm reading, or it was your hand. It wasn't even a palm reading. It wasn't like, oh look, there's your lifeline or anything like that. So she just said, put your hands on the table. So I did, and she sort of, I don't know if she had a tissue or what she did, but she sort of brushed each hand with just her hand, and then she said, so this, I've written it down because otherwise I'll forget, but she started off and she said, you're a straight talking lass, I think she might have called me, or a girl or something. You're a straight talking lass, aren't you? And I, yeah, I guess so. So you're well respected by your friends and family, and I didn't really know what to say to that. You sort of agree, go, yes, everybody respects me, they're wonderful. So I sort of was a bit like, oh. And then she said, you're a mother. And I said yes, and she said, and how many have you got? And I am a little bit wary about giving information. I was sort of trying to be really deadpan, but I thought, well, I can't just sit there and go, well, you tell me. You know, I didn't want to like end up getting cursed. So I was like, yeah, I have 3. And then she just looked at me and she said, and there was meant to be another one, wasn't there? And I looked at her and she went, I'm really sorry. And it shocked me so much that because it's not like I'd gone 3, you know, she somehow just knew there was another one, and you know, I did lose a baby before I had Lils. So you know, that immediately I was just like, oh my God, you know, and it upset me. I got really tearful. And she probably, you know, she could see, because you just know when someone's like about to burst into tears, don't you? So, yeah, she just said, I'm really sorry. And I was like, that's okay. And then she said, you know, you're happily married. And I said, yeah, but you know, obviously she could see my wedding rings there. So, but I was like, yeah. And she said, and your husband works? Yeah. He'll be getting a promotion soon. I was like, oh good, okay, good-o. And then she said, do you know anyone with the letter J? Now I was sitting there thinking, oh, I don't know, I can't think of anybody whose letter begins with whose name has got a J in it. And then she went, do you know a James? I was like, oh yeah, no, I do know a James. And she said, well, you haven't heard from him in a long time, and I haven't. And so she said, oh, he'll have some news for you. So I'm waiting. I'm not going to say anything to anybody, and I'm waiting for James to get and, you know, share some news. And I have a feeling, without saying anything, because in case somebody I know, so I know what that news is going to be. So and then she said, have you ever been to Canada? Now I haven't been to Canada, so I was nope. She said, well, you are going to go to Canada. And I thought, well, that's a bit of a, you know, afterwards I sort of thought, you know, if she wanted to have a safe bet on anything, she could have said, oh, France or somewhere, because most people probably will go to France, it's really close, but Canada is pretty far away. I have no plans to go to Canada. So if you find that, not on my own back, if I decide I'm going to go to Canada, but if somebody, like a brand, gets in touch and offers me the chance to go to Canada, I will know that this woman was genuine. But, you know, so far she was like, so then she's like, do you come, no, she didn't even ask me, she went, you come from a family with lots of twins, don't you? And I was like, yes, because we do. There's such a high incidence of twins in my family, it's ridiculous. And it was quite a shock that out of my 4 pregnancies, that none of them were twins. And so she said, oh, well, you know, and you're not a twin, are you? And I'm not. I'm like the only cousin that wasn't a twin. So she said, oh, well, you're going to be a grandma to twins. I was like, okay. So again, you know, what else? I'll have to refer back to my phone now because I just can't. She said to me, you know, you've lived by the sea, but you don't live there anymore. And I did. I used to live near Brighton, and then after university I lived in Wales. I lived in Beaumaris for a while on Anglesey, and she said, you're going to live there again. And we would love to move back to the sea. There's something so calming about living by the sea, isn't there? And that was it really. She sort of said, oh, I'll send you off with a gypsy's kiss and have a lovely day and things like that. But I don't know. When I went to the psychic church, it was a lot of, I remember that the well, they're not called a priest, or the psychic leader or whatever, was like, and I can hear from your grandmother, and you used to love playing with her tea sets as a child and blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, none of my grandparents are dead, and none of them have tea sets either, so even if they were dead, I've never played with any of their tea sets. So I was a bit like, no, this isn't real. You're just like, you're trying to get me to go, oh yes, oh, it's terrible, and feed off of my emotions or whatever. But this woman, I mean, she comes from a clan. If you are familiar with this, Brighton Pier, there's a hut on Brighton Pier, or at least there was the last time I went, and there's a clan that's quite well known in the country. And so I just sort of think she knew that I was from a family of twins. Like, she didn't ask, there was nothing, she just came out with it. So she twins, she knew that I'd lost a baby. She you know, said that I know someone called James. I mean, it is a common name, I guess, I don't know, but the thing is she didn't say, oh, when you're feeling like this, you know, oh, you're feeling very down recently, aren't you? Or, because you could make that about your life. It's like a horoscope. You couldn't just be like, oh yes, well, I have been feeling that way recently. It wasn't. She was telling me things that are going to happen or have happened. She said things that were out of my control, and there's just no way that I can make them happen. I mean, yes, I could say, okay, do you know what, I fancy a trip to Canada. Well, I don't really. So if I go, it will be because of an external factor that is going to make it happen. And so the fact that she said things like that, I just think, well, I don't know. I left. You know, she wished me a gypsy's kiss, and I went. And I burst into tears because she threw me. I mean, her opening thing really of, you know, there should have been another baby, it just did me in really. And then saying that I was, I should have been a twin, that now I'll be a grandma of twins, or I don't know. It was like she really did know me, that she somehow gathered all this information about me, except she doesn't. She's never met me before. It's not like I was talking about it outside, that she had spies or anything. I genuinely believe that she is psychic, and she has a genuine ability, and that she has told me things that will happen, and that she did know that those things happened in the past. So I mean, you know, she didn't tell me I'm going to win the lottery or that I'm going to become rich and famous, but you know, I might be going to Canada. Somebody called James, I do know James, has got some news, and that somebody I know is going to go to Australia and do really well out there, which could be James, you never know, it could be, that could be the news. And you know, I might live by the sea, or that I'm going to live by the sea again one day, that my husband is going to get a promotion at work. I can't remember if I mentioned that yet. And I think that was it for future predictions, and everything else was just sort of from my past. And there was no, oh well, I guess that's relating to me. No, it was relating to me, and it freaked me out. And I want to go back next year to the Ideal Home Show, and I want her to do me an in-depth reading, because I want to know more. I feel like I'm a little bit addicted now. I want her to tell me more. You know, I don't want to hear from spirits or anything like that. I just want to, I want more proof. I want more proof that this is a real thing, because as I say, I am a skeptic, but if someone can show me that it's real, then I'm completely open to it, and I am open to it, and she's so far convinced me. And I really want to go back for another reading. She had a crystal ball, and I really wish that I'd have gone for that option. That, you know, what else could she have told me more about my future? Or and I really want to see her again, or go down to Brighton and find other members of her family, because I lived in Brighton for so long, and I just didn't believe it, so I just never went to them. But now if I go down to Brighton, I'm going to that pier and I'm going to have a reading. And yeah, I don't know, I've always wanted to believe that it was real, and she's gone a long way to showing me, or proving to me that it is real, because I don't know, there's no way she could have known those things. So yeah, I just thought I would share that with you, because it was just so, wow, yeah, I burst into tears, because it just freaked me out. It freaked me out that she was that, like, spot on. And you know, I never really talk about baby loss or anything like that, because I guess I probably have never really healed. And so the fact that she just sort of brought it up without any warning, it just sort of, yeah, threw me off. But yeah, that's my story. Have you ever been to a psychic, or have you ever fancied going, or have you been to a psychic church? Like I said, my experience wasn't that great with that. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you've ever really fancied having it done, or if you've had any weird experiences. Do you believe? Do you not believe? Why not? And don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you can hear me rambling a little bit more. And I will see you again soon. Bye.